guys, today I am finally back from my little trip and I've been gone for about 2 weeks now. I came back and I had so many packages, which is like, I love that because it is my favorite thing about being on YouTube. It's just, you know, reviewing makeup and getting a lot of makeup sent to me and then being surprised when I get stuff and then opening things is like being a kid on Christmas, and I absolutely love it. And one of the things that I got yesterday, which I am so ready to dig into, I mean, when I saw the sneak peek on Instagram, my jaw dropped because you guys know, I love Blendbunny. They have my absolute favorite matte formula of all time. I think that they are incredible. And when I saw that they were coming out with a new palette and it's colorful and it's just amazing, I just couldn't be more excited. So we're of course going to be trying out the Primal palette. If you haven't already seen this, I mean, this palette is so stinking beautiful. Like, is it another rainbow palette? Sort of, but also not really. I mean, it is a rainbow palette, but I feel like it's a really nicely and well done rainbow palette. It does have a black and a white in it, and I can't wait to do some looks with this. So this is only going to be a first impression. I do plan on doing probably a 3 or 5 look video depending on how quickly I get through the other things that I have that have come in, because there's quite a lot of things. But I did want to make sure that I got a video up for you guys with this palette as soon as possible because this palette has already launched. It did launch yesterday. There is still stock. I don't know. I mean, I do plan on posting this video the same day as I'm filming it, so you'll be seeing this later in the day, but this might not go up until kind of late today, and I don't know if maybe they'll sell out by then, but as of this very moment when I'm filming this, they do still have stock, and I do have a code with Blendbunny. It's just Annette, and it will save you 10% off. It is affiliated, just so you know, but I can't wait to play with this. I'm sure a lot of you are like, hey Annette, are there any dupes in this palette compared to the Surge palette or the Blends palette? I'll show you some comparisons just so you can kind of see the side by side. So first off is the Blend palette, and I'm going to be comparing that to the Primal palette. And you can see the Primal palette is the one that has the black and the white on the bottom. And I wouldn't say that there are necessarily any dupes, but of course there are going to be, you know, similar shades because there are pinks in both palettes, there are purples in both palettes. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they are both sort of a rainbow palette, but I don't think that there are any exact dupes. Like, there are shades that are quite similar. If you have one, do you need the other? I don't know. That's going to be up to you to decide, but of course the Primal palette does have some shimmers in it, which is exciting. If you want to compare it to the Surge palette, I don't think that there are any complete dupes, but there are similar shades. Again, if you have one, do you need the other? Again, it's going to be up to you to decide, but I feel like if you like the Blendbunny formula and you like to have a lot of options like I do, I think that you would be absolutely okay having both palettes, and I don't think that you would regret it if you did pick up the new one. So I think we're just going to go ahead and start playing. I'm so excited. Also, if you're wondering about like the little streaks in my hair, don't worry, I didn't dye my hair again. They're just little clip-ins because I miss having color in my hair, but I cannot be bleaching my hair again. My hair is so fragile. It is not in a state where I can put bleach on it. So I thought this could be kind of like a fun little thing to do. Am I 3 years old? Is this what like kids do? Yes. Do I care? No. I still think it looks cute. And also, if you're wondering what's on my lips, because I'll probably forget to say it at the end of the video, I'm using a lip liner from Colourpop. This is in the shade Field Day. And then on top, I have a lipstick from Ace Beauté, and this is in the shade Sincere. Also, speaking of Ace Beauté, I know they're coming out with a new collection. I can't wait to play with it. It's called the Paletology? I forget the name of it, but it's supposed to be like a gameplay where you can sort of do like a palette bingo style or something. It looks really cool. Anyway, I know that's not what this video is about, but I just got back and I have a lot to talk about. But we're gonna of course focus on this palette today. I can't wait to dig in. I don't know what I'm gonna do today, but I know whatever it ends up being. I just realized this palette doesn't really have any blues in it. Like, I was like, maybe I'll do a blue look today, but now I'm like, never mind. So that I would say is like one of the biggest differences between this one and the Blend palette is that this one doesn't really have blues. It's got like blurbles, but it doesn't have blues. So I'm going to, where is my primer? Start by priming my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base because it is my absolute favorite. And I think that the one thing that I would say about this color story personally is that there are shimmers in here, but I wish that there was a bit of a lighter shimmer. What would make this palette absolutely perfect for me was that if this was a split white pan and there was a white matte and then a white shimmer, so that you could layer that shimmer. Like, I just want it to be like a very neutrally toned white shimmer, and that way you can layer it over all of these other shimmers and just make a lighter version of those. I think that would have made it a little bit more versatile because right now I feel like all of these shimmers are a little too dark for what I personally like, I'm gonna have to bring in some kind of a highlight shade, which is totally fine and nothing that I mind doing at all. But for this to be a complete palette, I would want there to be just like one lighter shimmer that could be an iridescent something, anything. But let's see, what do I want to do today? I'm thinking I definitely want to try to use a lot of these shades, but I also don't want to use all of them. Like, I don't want to overwhelm myself with shades here. So let me go ahead and think about what to do. So since there aren't really any yellow mattes in the other palettes, I do want to play with the yellow. So I'm going to start with that. I don't really have a plan yet, but we're just going to take it one shade at a time and see what happens. So I'm dipping into the shade called Ray, which is a very fitting name for a yellow matte. And I'm going to start that. I just need to tap out my primer a little bit here. I'm going to put that in the front portion of my crease and sort of just pack this in here and see what happens. And I have no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna love this palette as much as I love the other two, because honestly, they're all I want to reach for. I just want to use my Blendbunny palettes, and I just want to use my whatever all shimmer palettes or single shimmers in my collection, but these are just like my go-to mattes because I know that they're so reliable, and that is why I like them. I just like to have reliable mattes that I know are gonna blend, I know they're gonna build, I know they're just gonna be pigmented, I know they're gonna work. And sometimes I don't trust all the formulas I have in my collection. Like, some I really like, but there are some that I like, but I still don't 100% trust them to always do what I want them to do. But I feel like with Blendbunny, I can definitely say that I just trust this formula, and I know I'm not going to be disappointed, and I know I'm not going to have any patchiness or problems blending or building, and they're just going to perform well. And this is a really, really, really pretty yellow shade. I really like that so far. Now, the real question is, which direction do I want to go in? Do I want to go more warm tone or more cool tone? Because I can definitely do both. I will say that the bright green is like screaming my name, which, listen, this row here is like so me. I feel like I'm very drawn to like primary colors, very bright colors. That is what I prefer to work with. And then I like using sort of grungier tones and pastels as an accent to the bright tones. So I'm going to use the very bright green here, and I'm gonna put that in the middle of my crease. I'm probably gonna move into like the blurples or something, or maybe, yeah, I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna use this as sort of my binder shade in the middle of my crease here. And then we are of course going to deepen things up a little bit. But this is also such a bright pigmented shade. I just love these colors together. I'm next taking the darker green in the palette here, which is called Camouflage. So this one right here, and I'm gonna do that in the outer portion of my crease. Maybe not so much the outer corner of my eye. I do think I want to use maybe like the very dark purpley shade as my deepening shade, because I do feel like it has enough blue in it to not mess up or to not muddy up this green. We'll kind of see how that goes. And I'm not sure if I want to do anything else like differently underneath my eye. We'll see. I probably will, honestly, because I just want to try out a lot of these shades. So this look might not end up being the most cohesive, but like I said, I do want to try out a lot of these colors and just sort of see if the formula is the way that I expect it to be, which so far it's obviously performing great, as I'm sure you can see. And if you're wondering about the brush I'm using, this is the same one that I've used for the entire look so far. It's from BK Beauty. It's the A504. Now, of course, Blendbunny does have some really nice brushes as well, and I would highly recommend their brush set if you're looking for small blending brushes. This just happened to be the one that I reached for because, number one, it was clean and it was also right in front of me. But like I said, Blendbunny does have some really, really nice brushes. So if you're looking for small blending brushes that are super easy to work with, that are very soft synthetic brushes, I think that you would really like them. So now that I sort of have my upper crease done and blended, I mean, that was so easy. That was almost a little bit too easy. I'm gonna go into one of the darker shades. I'm just gonna wipe off my brush because I just used the same one. I'm gonna take the shade here called Ink, which is a dark, I know people don't like when I say blurple, but I'm gonna say it anyway because that is how I feel, and I like saying blurple because I think it's a funny word. So I'm gonna use this as my deepening up shade. So you can see probably on the eyes here that it's definitely leaning quite purple, but it does have a little bit of blue in it. So I do, like I said, I think that is gonna blend nicely into the green shade. because of those little blue qualities that is in it. This is mostly just like a color theory, me guessing that this is gonna work out and just hoping for the best, but I do feel like these aren't going to really muddy up too much, and the fact that they're both quite dark also really helps with preventing muddying. Like the darker the colors are, the more forgiving they are to blend them into each other. But oh my god, like did you see how easy that was? Oh, that looks so good already. I love this palette. Is it too early to say that? Maybe, but I mean, I knew I was going to, so sorry, not sorry. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade underneath my eye as well and just use as sort of my connector shade to whatever I end up going into. I'm thinking I want to use maybe some of the magenta shades on the rest of my lower lash line, but I just want to make sure that I can blend those seamlessly into whatever color is on the outer corner here. And this is also just going to help connect the outer corner in a way that it makes the look like it's complete here. I don't know if that made any sense, but that was just words spewing out of my mouth. I think next I'm gonna take this shade here and I'm gonna put that in the middle of my lower lash line, and then I'll probably do like one of these pink shades in the very inner corner, starting with the shade called Exotic, which is the sort of eggplanty shade here. I'm just gonna pop that right in the middle of my lower lash line. This is sticking very nicely. It's blending really well into that dark blue as well. Just wiping off my brush, and I'm next gonna take the shade here called Winged, which is this one. And I'm just gonna tuck that right in here. Ooh, that is so cute. I really like Blendbunny's pastels. They're so nice and pigmented, but also like really bright pastels. They're not washed out pastels. And I love how they're so easy to work with. You don't need a white base for them to show up nice and pigmented. Like this is a really fun color combination. I don't know what I want to do on my lid though. I feel like I have sort of a lot of options for what to do, but I know I want to use the yellow shimmer because I love yellow shimmers. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of the brightest of the greens. I feel like I blended over that one just a little bit. I'm just going to sort of bring this back right here. Like, do you see how nicely these are just blending and building? Should I use a little bit of the black as well, just to sort of try it out? I feel like this look doesn't need it, but why not? We're here. So I'm gonna dip into the black shade, which I love that there's a black and a white in here. That makes me so happy because I love a good black eyeshadow. I'm not gonna use a lot of this. I'm just gonna use a little bit on the very outer corner of my eye just to get a little extra depth. Not that this look needs it at all, but I feel like this is so far a very easy black to work with. I barely dipped in and I don't feel like it's an overwhelming black, but I feel like it's black enough that it's really easy to just add a little bit on the very outer corners of your eye if you want just that extra little depth. That looks amazing. I think it's time for the shimmers. I am going to put down some of my NYX glitter primer, which I am running out of, which is a little worrisome because I don't want to be without it. And I'm going to use my Rephr P21. I don't know why I said P21, but that's what this one says because it's a prototype, but it's just a 21 brush. I'm going to put my glitter primer all over my lid, just a very, very thin layer. I don't want a lot of this. I just want to make sure that the shimmers have just a little bit of tack, because I feel like with these shimmers as well, since they are kind of a glittery formula, they're not glitters, but they have little glitter particles in them. This is going to help to really bring that out. And I think I'm going to start with, I'm going to probably use 3 of these. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm just going to use these 3. So I'm first going to take the blue shade. This one is called Morph. I don't know where my camera shut off, but I was putting this on my eye and I was saying that is so metallic looking and so pretty. I really like that. I feel like this is probably the shade in the palette that has the least kind of glitters in it, but it's still very impactful and very metallic. Taking that basically on the outer third or so of my lid. I'm trying to not blend it completely over the mattes in the outer corner, but I'm not sure I can help myself here. I'm putting this in a bit of a diagonal so that it's a little bit easier to blend the other 2 shimmers into it, and it also just flows a little bit better. I feel like it just looks better with my eye shape as well. Next, gonna take the shade called Slither, which is the green shimmer, and I'm gonna put that pretty much next to where I put the blue, just in the middle of my lid. And then we're gonna do the yellow in the front portion. Yeah, this one is definitely a little bit more glittery, which I love that because it's really pretty. I'm trying not to take this too far in since my crease isn't that dark in the front portion. I don't want the shimmer in the front portion to be too dark either, so I'm keeping this mostly in the middle, and I think as soon as I go in with the yellow and I start blending this over, this is gonna come together really nicely. I love the shimmer formula in this so far. Like, they're very easy to work with, they're very impactful, they're very just pretty and smooth and metallic. Lastly, we're gonna end it with the yellow shimmer or the gold shimmer, whatever you want to call it. This one is called Regal, and these are just picking up really nicely on my brush too. And I'm just gonna put that right here. That is also really, really pretty, beautiful shade. I'm gonna try to not blend these in together quite yet and just put down the very inner portion first because I don't want there to be any green on my brush until I start blending them together. So now that I have this done, I'm just gonna sort of start fading this over the green shade. And these are just blending so nicely. Look at the difference, like look at this blend. Like I haven't even really gone over with the other colors yet, but it's just looking perfect already. So I think this is actually where I'm going to leave it. I wish I had more eyes because I would love to play more with this, but as of right now, this is all I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off, and I'll come back and I will show you what I did to finish. I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy. Maybe do like some pink in my waterline, some liner and mascara. Don't think I'm gonna do lashes, but we'll see. Okay, and this is the final look. So in my waterline, I used this one from ColourPop. It's in the shade Crybaby. It's a sort of light lavender pastel. And that's basically how I finished off. I also used a little bit of my electric highlighter from Bitter Lace Beauty, which is sort of a iridescent yellow shade. I used that in my inner corner because I needed something to just brighten up a little bit, and I also used that on my brow bone. And that's the look, and I really like this look. I really like this palette so far. I think that I'm gonna have such a good time doing a lot of looks with this. I wanna do a ton, but also, like I said, I've gotten a lot of things into my collection that I'll probably film a haul after this and just show all of the things so that you guys can let me know what you wanna see first. And I also probably will do a giveaway in that video. So keep your eyes out. If there's a haul video coming up, there will be a giveaway in there because I have a lot of things that I've gotten in that I'm not gonna be able to use all of it, and I don't want it to go to waste, you know? But this palette is amazing. If you want it, pick it up. I don't think you're gonna regret it. And if you don't have anything from Blendbunny already, this would be probably a great place to start. And if you already have everything else, you would probably want it still because it is a great palette. And I know that I'm going to get so much use out of this. So congratulations, Blendbunny, again for yet another incredible palette. I can't wait to see what you guys do in the future. I just know that whatever it is going to be amazing. So that's gonna be it for today. If you want to see some more Blendbunny videos, I will make a playlist and put that right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.